Hi Virgo, welcome to your December reading. Thank you so much for watching. I've already shuffled all the cards that I'm going to use for your reading today and thrown down your spread. So this card represents where you are now, the challenge you face, the resources you can use. This is the hidden forces and the potential outcome. We're going to take one rune here for your reading to see what is the spiritual lesson in your current situation. Okay, so we have one major arcana card in your reading in the position of the challenge. Now, in the first position you have here, where you are now, Ace of Cups in reverse. So, yeah, and with the Hierophant here in the second position, the first and most pretty obvious interpretation I could make here is that someone may be going through a breakup or some kind of end of a commitment. The Hierophant can represent commitment, can represent marriage, it can represent any type of formal, institutionalized, traditional, traditional things, institutionalized things, contracts, education, things like that. So these two cards together, and in fact, the Gemini reading had very similar energy in the first two positions of their spread. So you might find that watching the reading for Gemini might also give you more help and insight to understand the situation better. And I think they also actually had this same rune as well in their reading. But yeah, so for some people there could be a breakup here. If there's something else that comes through with this, I'll come back to it. But for now, I'm going to move on to this card here. So the Eight of Wands is in reverse in the position of your spread of what are the resources that you can use. So how I'm going to interpret that along with the other two cards on the top line is that this could be a time where things feel like there isn't like a super duper great flow of either communication or energy in a certain way, especially with regards to maybe the person who you're dealing with, if this is a commitment that is either ending or being revised. There could be some complications or challenges with regards to communicating. There might also be some physical movement or change of location for some. There could be miscommunication here. There could be missed communication, as in like unread emails or messages that are in some way affecting the ability to connect with this person. For some people here, the challenge with the Hierophant in the reading in this position in the upright is saying that you might be feeling a bit of how do I explain that? Like there could be this split between you with regards to the feeling like you should follow traditional paths, you should follow the way things have been done, you should stick through with what commitments you made and the promises you made. Even though that maybe makes you feel quite unhappy in some ways for some people with this bottom line here, even the Ace of Cups. But I'm feeling this energy for some people. This could be a specific message, maybe even for just one person, where you might feel like it's your obligation to stay committed even though you're unhappy and you don't want to. So there's a bit of this, there's a little bit of tension here with regards to that, as far as, you know, there might be this split in terms of what you feel you ought to do, what you feel your obligations are, and then how that sits side by side along with what you feel like you really want and need for yourself, you know, in order to feel right, to feel good, to feel content. Even though if that means like splitting with someone, and splitting is difficult, there's this feeling like you might have this juxtaposition between feeling like that's what you want for yourself, but there's a little bit of a tussle. That's what I'm basically trying to say. There's a tussle internally, trying to figure out like what's the right movement to make, even though you probably already know. Now on the bottom line, this card, Ten of Wands, is in the reading in the position of what are the hidden forces. So what I'm feeling with that is there's this sensation of this unconscious kind of self-flagellation, or the idea of like I was talking there, these two cards are feeling really connected. this feeling of obligation, responsibilities, the right action according to like societal perceptions of what's right, what's correct, how things ought to be done. And then that, because it's in the unconscious here, I feel like you maybe need to acknowledge that for yourself, that you might be bearing the burdens of societal expectations of you, and that might be impeding or hindering your ability to make the clear decision on how you want to move forward in terms of what's right for you. And then the Four of Pentacles is in the reading in the position here of what is the potential outcome in reverse. In this deck, it's called Commencement. This is the Voyager deck. And how I'm feeling that, again, it's like this unsettled energy of movement and change, things being, like boundaries being broken, or foundations being up, like there's an upheaval energy with the Four of Pentacles. And I feel like it's connected to a shift in a commitment or a break in a union, you know, like this. The Four of Pentacles can also be about, when it's in the upright, about holding on and keeping firm. But when it's in the reverse, it can have more of a letting go interpretation. And that's what I feel here in this reading. So let's take a look at the rune now and see how that ties everything together. So this rune, as I said earlier, came out in the previous reading I just did for Gemini. So you might want to watch that Gemini reading as well, especially if the person you're dealing with is Gemini. It might be relevant for you. But anyway, it says here with this rune is called Kinas, and in your reading it's in the reverse. And in the reverse it means breakup, instability, lack of creativity, nakedness, exposure, loss of illusion, and false hope. So any of those things could apply in the circumstance that I'm tuning into with what I've already been describing. So if there was any advice here to give, I think it has the main points that came up there was with this 8 of Wands reverse, 10 of Wands upright. I think careful communication will be very beneficial here. If there isn't any communication at the moment, or if communication is difficult, I feel like there might be a need to go back to things from the past that haven't yet fully been hashed out, perhaps, and that might be part of why there's some resistance here, or some like this back and forth kind of contraindication of like clarity. So I feel like there's some need to go back and communicate about things from the past, and that will help ease some of this tension here around what feels like it could be quite an upheaval. And then the 10 of Wands in reverse there, I think the important thing here was the point I made about this sensation here of maybe you're unconsciously allowing your this feeling of like the heavy load of the responsibilities that you feel is on your shoulders in terms of like community expectations or cultural expectations, societal expectations, family expectations, and finding a way to justify, or not justify, that's the wrong word, to come into your own energy of like being confident in what's right for you, and letting go of all that baggage of expectations of others, letting go of all the dogma around how things are supposed to be, how things have been done, and just making sure that you're following the path of truth for your heart, for your yearnings, for your you know, motivations, for your journey, and being in 100,000% authenticity with that, so that you're never accruing any kind of like residual or toxic energies that could build up, or that are feeling like resentful, or in any way like begrudging, because that's not going to work moving forward from here. That type of energy is really not working for anyone collectively moving forward from here. So just be aware about that, Virgo. That's it for your reading. Thank you so much for watching. I hope you found that helpful. It's been an honor and a pleasure to read for you. Please like, share, comment, subscribe, and I'll see you in the next reading. Bye for now.